For the last few years, this guy has been synonymous with Mario ROM hacks. In 2016, he made Last Impact, which remains to this day one of the most ambitious hacks of its kind. In fact, it's rivaled only by another hack that he made earlier this year, in the form of a fucking amazing hack that brought Mario into the world of Ocarina of Time, which is one of my favorites. Then, just a few weeks ago, he made this. I'm ruined. Waluigi's Taco Stand 64 follows Waluigi. Since he thought he was going to be in Smash Ultimate, he signed a lease for a really expensive apartment. Of course, that never happened, so he ended up being completely unable to pay it. His rent was way overdue, so he has to sell tacos to pay it back. Don't judge him, guys, it's a living. Right off the bat, I just want to call attention to Waluigi's house for a minute. I think one of the best things about Kaze hacks, though it's probably not exclusive to him, is the ridiculous amount of unnecessary but hilarious details put into the world, and this little area demonstrates that pretty well. Granted, I don't know 100% what actually goes into making these things, but I know it takes a concerted effort, and I appreciate that. So basically what happens is you get a line of customers who each tell you what kind of taco they want. Then, it's up to Waluigi to go halfway around the world to get the right ingredients. You got all your best taco ingredients. You got cheese, beef, tomatoes, cactus, broken glass, dead mosquitoes, shit burritos, crap Doritos, Puerto Rico, Despacito, Nico! After you serve an entire lineup of people, another lineup appears and you go to a different area because these people have really refined taste. They're too good for that field cheese. They want that highly refined desert cheese. The core mechanics are pretty much identical to Mario 64, the only difference being the actual objective, as you're only supposed to collect the right ingredients and then leave. But there's one thing that makes Waluigi badass, and that's the fact that he's completely invincible. I don't know how he managed that, but if I had to guess, it probably has something to do with the sombrero. Eventually, Waluigi becomes the Taco King, and the game is beaten. You know, a lot of people are upset about Waluigi not being playable in Smash, but I mean really, come on. You don't see K. Rool running a taco stand, do you? What about Snake's tacos? What about all these characters from that game series that doesn't even exist? I bet none of them have a taco stand either. So when you think about it, Waluigi wins in the long run. Next up, we have Super Mario 64 Racing. This game was made in a challenge thing involving simple flips or something like that, I don't know. In this game, all you do is slide around these vaguely circular levels to race against 6 other AI characters. How does Mario 64 translate into a racing game? Well, surprisingly, the game provides a pretty good amount of dumb fun. But at the same time, the game is actually hard as shit, because if you hit anything, it stops you from sliding and completely fucks up your momentum, and getting it back can be really difficult. The most effective strategy I found is to build up a little bit of running speed and then doing the slide kick move. This game can be pretty annoying when you consider that the enemy AI just goes in a very direct path and can pass through solid obstacles that you can't, which is kind of bullshit. But since you're playing as Mario, you can just maneuver and jump through things as long as your reflexes are on point. Probably the funniest thing about this game is that it's better than Sonic R. Actually, that might just be sad, I don't know. There's only 4 levels as well, but it is a smaller hack, so that's really not that bad. Next game is Portal Mario 64, or something to that effect. So what is this game? Well, it's Mario with a goddamn portal gun. In the original Portal, you played as a generic human being with no extraordinary powers or abilities. But you did have a portal gun to make up for it. Now let's talk about Mario for a second. This guy is fucking broken. You know how I know that? Because Sky Williams said so.
Mario is fucking broken.
Yeah, you heard him. So naturally, Mario already has all sorts of insane acrobatic abilities, which makes giving him a portal gun seem a little bit superfluous. But goddamn, this game is actually pretty good. It's got some pretty neat Portal-esque puzzle-solving elements married to some Mario 64-style platforming sections, which sounds like a winning combination. Naturally, games like this tend to be a bit janky by nature though, and trust me, sometimes this game is downright cunty. But with a bit of patience, and after getting a feel for the mechanics, it is actually pretty good. Besides, it's free, so it's not like you have anything to lose. So if you like Portal, or Mario 64, or both, or either, or whatever, just give it a shot. Last game, and probably the best one in this video, is Mario's Little Odyssey. Now, before I talk about this, I should probably mention that I still haven't actually played Mario Odyssey yet, so I don't have a really great idea of how accurately this game recreates the physics of Odyssey. But what I will say is that this hack is fucking badass. There are so many new and awesome mechanics to fuck around with, as if it wasn't already enough that this is Mario 64 based, which is inherently a very mechanically awesome game. When I first picked up this hack, I couldn't figure out for the life of me how to bounce off Cappy. By watching other people's videos, I could see that everyone else was going through the game using it, but I had no idea how they were doing that. But since this game gives you so many tools, I was still able to barely scrape by a good chunk of this game by using other mechanics to compensate for this. Eventually, I did figure out how to bounce off of the hat, and when I did, everything was fucking wonderful. But just the fact that I was able to go through so much of it using other mechanics than that's pretty cool. That goes to show how much freedom the game gives you. And honestly, I just love it when games give you more than one way to do things. Seriously, this game is probably one of the funnest hacks I've played in a while. There's this crazy tension that occurs when you're stringing together jump combos to get across these giant gaps, and then, when you do it right, you feel like the goddamn king. It's a relatively short hack and left me genuinely wanting more. In fact, it was at this point that I actually found myself wanting actual Mario Odyssey. So Reggie, if you're watching this, remember, I just played a mod that makes me want to give you money for your actual game. So while you were busy buying pancakes with the money from my Wind Waker video, I've been over here ready to give you money anyway. So if you just waited a couple years for when I could fucking afford a Switch, you'd have like 400 of my dollars. But nope, you just couldn't help yourself, you